What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be going over the new dungeon shotgun, my first review of the dungeon weapons, and this thing is kind of broken. It has one of the most unique DPS combos probably ever, and in this video we'll be breaking down what that is, going over all those good numbers. It is absolutely wild. So this is the Unvoiced. It's gonna be a void slug from the dungeon. And starting off with the left column perks, there's going to be two to talk about. The first is going to be redirection, and this went from a perk that was like, yeah, I think I remember that perk, to, this is kind of really good. And so it got updated this season, and it says damaging rank and file combatants increases damage against more powerful ones. So how this works now is when you damage a red bar combatant with this weapon, you'll get 2 stacks of redirection. It used to be 1, now it's 2. So it's going to be a lot quicker to build up, and looking at the base damage of the shotgun, it hits for 41,000, and with redirection, it's going to do double damage, 100% buff, hitting for 82,000 now, and with the regular perk, it'll consume 3 stacks to do that. With enhanced, it will only consume 2, making the perk last a lot longer and be way more efficient than it used to be. Also now it stacks up to 30, so hitting 15 red bars, 2 stacks per red bar will give you the max stacks of 30. And this weapon with max reserves holds 23, so we can get up to 15 of the double damage bullets with the full 30 stacks. So basically how it works is every red bar you hit will give you 1 double damage bullet for majors and bosses. So this perk definitely has some upkeep and some effort to put into to make it work, but with it being double damage, it is pretty worth the trade-off. So if you were going to use this for a boss fight, if you wanted the full 30 stacks for the 15 extra damage bullets, you would have to hit 15 red bars. I don't think there's any tricks to gain stacks faster. Sometimes you might hit a clat where you hit 2 enemies with a single shot, and it will give you 4 stacks instead of the 2. Sometimes it seems like destabilizing rounds or volatile rounds will also give you more than 1 stack. It doesn't work all the time, but sometimes it does. After watching some of this gameplay back, I think it's not the volatile. I think it's breaking shields that count as double, but it's kind of weird. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but when it happens, obviously that's a good thing. But overall, you would have to shoot enemies first. So this might be a thing where you have 2 different loadouts and you have one with a scavenger. You shoot 15 red bars, make sure to pick up a brick to get back above 15 ammo, and you'll be ready for the boss. Stacks don't have a timer, you'll be good to go. Also in the left column, we have 4 times the charm, the second perk you could use. This will be more traditional for a precision weapon, where every 4 hits will give you 2 back, and with this having a max reserves of 23, that means you'll be able to proc it 10 times, which means 20 free ammo from thin air, actually making it extend your total damage more than redirection, because if you think about it, 4 times the charm will give you 20 free bullets of damage. Redirection is double damage for 15 shots, so equivalent to 15 extra bullets of damage. So 4 times the charm is giving you 5 more bullets worth of damage compared to 15 with redirection, but obviously way lower DPS. So in the left column, we have a damage perk that gives us double damage, which is obviously absurd. In the right, we also have some of the best damage perks in the game. We have Elemental Honing or Bait and Switch. I talked about Elemental Honing on the Praetor's Revenge. And unlike for Kinetics, where it's like cap out at 40%, with Elemental Honing on elemental weapons, it's going to be 35% with ×5 and 30% with ×4. So while this perk is great for Kinetics, I think it's not usually going to be worth the extra effort compared to Bait and Switch for elemental weapons. It is 5% more, but you have to play Prismatic to get to ×5, and with this build we're going to be playing Void. So for this weapon, I would just go with Bait and Switch. I don't have that role yet, but that's definitely the way I would go myself. And with the way all damage buffs and debuffs stack in this game, combining redirection with Elemental Honing ×5 or Bait and Switch will just do a lot of damage per shot with a shotgun. Just those 2 perks alone on Carl is hitting for almost 112,000, which is already obviously a lot of damage from a single shot of a special weapon. But we can go so much further completely solo. So starting off with no backup plans on Titan, when you have a Void Overshield, you'll get the 35% buff for shotguns, which won't stack with our buffs, but will be among the highest in the game. And you can get the Overshield from Rapid Shotgun Final Blows or from Bastion on Void Titan. Just put down your barricade and get the full Overshield. And now we look at that with Redirection and Elemental Honing ×5. the damages start getting pretty high, now hitting for 151,000. We can also throw in a debuff, avoid one through Echo of Undermining with the Void Grenade. Pilot Arsenal will also weaken with the 15% debuff. Could also run Tractor for the 30% completely solo. And with this being a shotgun, it will also get the buff from the Overshield. Could also just weaken from the artifact with the whole loop of volatile explosions with the artifact mods. So there's multiple ways to get the Void debuff or the Tractor going completely solo in this build. Last thing we can also run is triple Void Weapon Surge for the 22% damage increase. So now with all of that going on, damage on Carl is going to go up to 212,000. Obviously quite a lot. And that sounds like a lot of things to set up, but really it's not much. You pick up an orb, you throw your grenade, Tractor, whatever debuff you're using, and just proc bait and switch. And you have everything. The only thing you have to do, as we mentioned before, is stack up redirection going into the boss fight or whatever it is by hitting 15 red bars. And generally you just want to pick up one special brick to get back above 15 ammo, which is something generally always happen. You could run a different loadout with like a scavenger, finders, and a special finisher. Just finish one enemy, get that brick, switch to your other loadout, and you're good to go. But obviously this does require a little bit of setup, but it's definitely not as much as it seems. So if we look at the damage on the strike boss and run whole numbers, a lot of math, and the rate of fire with assault mag, the 7 shots takes 5 seconds. So looking at DPS of just the 2 perks, not the full combo, it's 187,000, which is already quite high for a special weapon. But now we throw in the full combo on Titan with all the good stuff going on, it goes over 400,000. And that will maintain for a full 15 shots. That is a lot. And looking at the total damage, just the 2 perks is 2.6 million. Then with the full combo, with the first 15 shots being under redirection, taking into account bait and switch, it's going to be 5.5 million, which is a lot. So while this setup does require a little bit of work proccing redirection times 30, as you can see, it's definitely well worth the setup. And the rest of the build is the stuff you'd be doing anyways for DPS, picking up an orb for Surge, putting down a Rally Barricade for reload and the Overshield, then shooting with Tractor for the debuff, shooting with your primary to proc bait and switch, and you're just good to go. And just mousing through the rest of the build, I've made multiple builds with this exotic and subclass before. The main thing for Actler I'm going to be using is going to be the Corrective Measure, which is an absolute monster right now. You can really use whatever rule you want, and that's going to be really good for Actler combined with Controlled Demolition, where it'll just chain volatile explosions everywhere. And those volatile explosions will also give us our barricade back through the boost of volatile marksman. So we can always spam those Bastion Rally Barricades to get the Overshield at all times. Also, your top slot is kind of a freebie. If you're using Tractor, I would just run a sidearm or whatever primary you want. A sidearm right now is anti-barrier, so you can cover that. Tractor is overload. And for Unstoppable, you can run a blinding grenade or really whatever you want. So you can easily cover all the champions in this build. And I don't have bait and switch yet, so in this gameplay, I'm losing a decent chunk of damage from not having that. And you can easily 3-shot champions 20 under. I think with the full combo, if I was running Tractor plus bait and switch, it would easily be a 2-shot. So yeah, this combo just does a lot of damage. It's great for champions. It's gonna be pretty crazy to see people use this for DPS and see what it can actually do, because its numbers are absolutely wild. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video. I'll link the build down below. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.